Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to TNT. Monday, April.
Hello, everyone. So we're going to start with our. Come on.
Let's do it. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
It's always delayed.
I know. It's the camera reaction. I don't know what it is. Okay, so we have a couple of things, and I guess we're going to welcome Debbie on with us today. Are we not?
Hello.
Yes. Hi, Deb.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that one a little bit later. But first, we're just going to go into the COVID-19, the Love 19 contest that Melissa, that you're running for small businesses in the local community. And just want to remind everybody that the next draw coming up is this Wednesday, 8 p.m., correct?
Yes.
You got that? And it's Black River Coffee and Zukas. If that's correct.
Oh, that is very good, Rob. Yes.
There you go. We got it right this time.
Yeah. So every
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday and Saturday, we're going to have the 2 draws. You can register. You have to be registered. You only have to register once. So look for that link on Facebook. We have it in the community pages as well as my page and your page. And I think Deb actually is, we'll introduce Deb, but she's my assistant as well. So she has it on her page as well. So you got to register to be in, but these draws are amazing. They're for $50 gift cards to help support small businesses in Georgina and Newmarket.
Absolutely. So why don't we go ahead and we'll introduce Deb.
Yes. So this is Debbie Wolishin. Not only is she my right-hand gal, but also together with her husband, Kevin, they had mentioned to me earlier on that they were interested in investing. So when we started up the Facebook group for the investors, they were on board and were really interested on kind of getting involved in that. So as Murphy's Law would have it, the very first, and I'm going to let Deb explain this a bit, but the very first property that we thought was a good deal for her to offer on, because we do like between Rob and I, we do a lot of specs on this property and we sort out the numbers and make sure the numbers work.
Yeah, so, a lot of homework goes in behind it before we go.
Correct.
That's for sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that people may not know, but maybe Deb can tell them that. But I'll just give you the teaser. So they put the offer in before COVID, gets accepted, and the closing is after COVID. No one knew COVID was going to happen in between. So Rob and I thought it would be good to kind of have Deb on and let her share her story on what it's like. Not only is she buying a property during this scary time, but they bought their very first investment property. So welcome, Deb.
Hi, thank you for having me on. Excited to be here. And yeah, it was a bit of a crazy experience. Kevin and I knew that we wanted to do an investment property, and because I work with you, I know how much work you put into looking at properties and suggesting the properties that you recommend to your buyers. So we were super comfortable with that, and we had actually, I think it was just me actually had gone to listen to a little presentation that Rob had done at Keller Williams, and it was just something that made sense to us. We've been wanting to do that for a while. So we kind of finally jumped, and you found a property that worked and met all the criteria. So we jumped in, and just right at that tip of the COVID-19 exploding. And on top of that, Kevin had to return back to work in Yellowknife. So I just added a whole nother level of insanity to it, but it's been a good process, and yeah, considering it's been a bit crazy, it's been a good process.
And now you're a landlord.
And now I'm a landlord. Very exciting.
So working up to that, a couple of the challenges that you went through that I know people are thinking about, even when they're going to buy a house during this time or even considering it, is, have you seen this property?
No, I have not. I don't even know what this property looks like. I just knew, and I of course we have a close relationship, so I trust you completely. And I knew that you were really excited about this property, and you had hoped to have this property for somebody, buyers ahead of us, and then they didn't want to commit. So we were able to jump in, and we knew we had to act fast. So I put my trust in you completely.
Well, that's no pressure. Thank you very much.
The only one here that's seen the property. Huh.
Yeah. No, Deb, I appreciate that. But I think the biggest thing that we were able to do for you is getting Rob on board. So you had the input from Rob as well, right? From the financial standpoint, the mortgage, how would the mortgage work? Because for people to know, you still own your primary residence. This was an additional purchase, not a sell and buy. So this was an additional. So there was a lot of financial decisions that had to be made. We made sure you were a good lawyer, accountant. Those are other things. This is all called sort of your team, right? We want to, because I appreciate it, but it's not just me, right? That I have to rely on all of these support circle for you. And one of the ones interesting is we set you up with an amazing property management company up in Barrie. And
he's fantastic.
Explain a bit about who they are and what they do for you.
So the name of the group is Renaissance Property Management, and the gentleman's name is Joe. So just a little shout out to him, because he has been a fantastic. And I don't think we would never have been able to do this without yours, Rob's, the lawyer, Mark, and Joe's help with this, because it's a lot. It's a lot to take on, and I know this can go really successful and it cannot go successful for some people, but I think this is the way to do it and to do it right. So that is a huge peace of mind for us. But Joe reached out immediately. He organized, the things that he needed, the things that he needed from the tenant, to make sure that really we won't have any kind of interaction with the tenant at all. It's all done on his end, and he takes care of everything. So so that is a huge peace of mind, knowing, and just the fact that he was so prompt to call me back on any kind of question. He brought up things that I didn't even know about, that he said, make sure you check with your lawyer about this, make sure you get this, make sure you're doing this. So there was all kinds of stuff that I didn't even know about that he brought to my attention. So he's been amazing.
No, it's perfect. Good. Mm-hmm. It is important to have a team. There's no question about that. Like, it's not your first time home buy. This is a major purchase that's there to build wealth, right? You need financial planners, you need mortgage brokers, you need real estate agents, even contractors in this case, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things a lot of moving pieces here that need to go to work, and having the right people makes a big difference.
Huge.
Mm-hmm.
Huge. Kevin and I would never, ever, ever have done this on our own without having all of that whole team in place that we felt comfortable with to ask questions, and really felt like a team. Like, it's like we've got this backing of people behind us that if we have questions about anything, that we can call you. I mean, we're not, Kevin and I are not super business savvy. We're not, as you know, Rob, when we met with about our mortgage and stuff, we're not crazy, financial wizards by any means. So so that's been nice.
And the key is that you don't have to be, right? Like
No, you don't have to be.
You have to have the people you trust that can look out for you and feed you that information. And I think that's where people get stuck up on the investing, is they're like, oh no, I don't know enough about it. Well, no one ever knew enough about it at the beginning. I remember just my own investing thing. I just jumped in and started doing it and figured it out on my own, which in turn allowed us to put something together to help you. But don't wait to figure it all out. Start asking questions now. Like, I am super, super excited for you and Kev, and I'm so proud of you guys. And we know that this is going to be the first of many, right?
We're hoping. We're hoping so.
Yeah, exactly. And question everyone wants to know, did you get paid your rent for April?
Yes.
And are you on track for your tenant paying in May?
Yes. That was one of our concerns going into the start of the COVID, that we thought, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? How are we going to manage this? But our tenant has been really reasonable and said right up front that he was planning on making his rental payments. So that's
Yeah, I know that was one of the first emails you sent me. What do we do if he doesn't pay?
Which, and I know, like, everybody's in the same boat right now, right?
Yeah.
So, and I, I knew it would work out somehow, but yeah.
It's the house.
That your attitude as well, and really helps, because we talk all the time, like, this might happen, but there's ways to get around this. We'll work through it. If it happens, nobody dies. Like, we'll get through it, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, there's always a solution. We just got to find it. That's all it comes down to. So now, how were you nervous knowing that the COVID-19 happened and you're closing on this property? Did that?
Yeah, it was a little bit nerve-wracking, especially because we closed while Kevin was gone.
Mhm.
So everything that was done with the lawyers was done via Zoom. So we were Kevin was signing documents in Yellowknife, and I was signing documents here. We were scanning, we were sending. So that was intense enough, because then it was sort of, my responsibility to sort of figure everything out that we needed to get, hydro and gas and all that stuff, all the appropriate people that we had to get in touch with. But yeah, it was a little bit concerning. We have, as you said, we haven't seen the property, so it was something that we were hoping to, before we closed, that we were going to get in to be able to see the property, because we are, doing some renovations in the basement to make it a legal apartment, legal duplex. So yeah, so that was a little bit concerning, but I know it'll work out when it needs to work out. So
Yeah, it'll come.
it'll come.
So now you're happy you did it.
Yeah, we're super happy. I mean, it's a little bit crazy, right? Because we were close to having our mortgage pretty low, and that mindset of, oh, you just pay off your mortgage, but then we knew we needed something else. We knew we needed investments beyond our RRSPs and that sort of thing. So I'm glad we did this, because I think it's going to set us up good for our retirement. So, and that was the main reason that we did it.
Mm-hmm. And absolutely, it will, for sure. I know we've run those numbers, and it's, it's one market I don't think that'll ever sink. And I think a lot of people ask me, it's like, oh, am I ever going to be able to find a rental? And I'm like, okay, there are more renters out there. And with the COVID-19, I think we're even going to see more renters out there and more popularity when it comes to rental properties. So it's, you got in before everybody else, which is the way to do it.
Yeah.
Instead of waiting for the big slew of people who are going to probably do it in about 8 months, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's,
Yeah, you beat the rush, which is fantastic. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing, Deb, today, because it's a scary time for everybody, and you guys went through your own scary time, and it's a little nerve-wracking, but you're a great example to show. As long as you got the right support and you got faith in the system, and you take, it's, what do they call that, measured risk, right? Like, there's risk in everything, but it's making sure that it's a calculated risk, that you have an idea of what that is. So
for sure.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
No, you know what? This was one of the interviews I know Melissa and I were both really looking forward to, right? So
awesome. Good. Yeah, it's been a great experience. And if you're in a position to get into real estate investing and you have the right people behind you, it's a win-win situation. So
absolutely.
Awesome. All right. Thank you. And I guess we will sign off unless someone's got something else to say.
No, we're good. You do it.
No. Hey, Deb, come on. Do our TNT with us. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Deb still hasn't done it.
It didn't go.
All right, guys. There you go.
All right.
Perfect. Well, thanks so much, guys. And we'll see you next week. And don't forget the draw. So register for the draw for Wednesday and Saturday. You'll see it out on Facebook. If you don't know, let us know. Have a good week.